Good evening, everyone, and thank you for your patience. My name is Amy Frazier, and I'm the President and CEO of the Culpeper Chamber of Commerce. On behalf of the Culpeper Chamber of Commerce, I'm pleased to welcome you to the Culpeper County Candidate Forums. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. We appreciate your attendance tonight as we aim to provide you with an informative session. Candidate forums are designed to provide voters with an opportunity to learn more about the individuals running for office. By attending a candidate forum, we hope that you as voters can gain a better understanding of each candidate's stance on key issues, evaluate their communication skills, and make an informed decision when casting your ballot on November 4th. We kindly ask that you refrain from any outbursts during the program. In the interest of ensuring a safe and respectful environment, any disruptions will result in the individual being asked to leave. Additionally, we ask that you please hold all applause until the end of the session. Please do not applaud after candidate responses. As we are streaming live tonight on Culpeper Media Network, please remain seated during the forum. Candidates do not receive the questions beforehand. Candidates, you will receive 2 minutes for your introductions, 2 minutes to answer each question, and 2 minutes to make a closing statement. Candidates are reminded that this is a forum and not a debate. Candidates are encouraged to speak directly to the audience and not to each other. We'll be adhering to a strict timeline, and to stay on track, you will be cut off at the 2-minute mark. Our moderator will be keeping time using a green, yellow, and red lighting system. The light will turn yellow when you have 30 seconds left and red when time is up. There will be a 5-minute break between each session. Our moderator for the evening will be Professor Neil Mayers. Neil Mayers is a professor at marketing at Germanna Community College, where he has taught since 2010. He currently serves as chair of the Virginia Community College System Marketing Peer Group and president emeritus of the Germanna Faculty Senate, having previously held the role of Senate president. In 2024, he was recognized as Germanna's Teacher of the Year and also contributed to the statewide Transfer VA initiative for marketing. Neil teaches a range of business courses in multiple modalities, including high flex and synchronous, easier than I thought. Synchronous online, thank you, Neil. He earned both his MBA and BA from the University of Rochester, New York, where he is originally from. Before entering higher education, Neil was Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Omni Services, a $300 million industrial services company in Virginia, and held leadership roles with several Fortune 100 firms. He holds certifications from Quality Matters, ACUE, Canvas, and is a certified practitioner of the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. Thank you for joining us tonight, and to further your knowledge of this area. And without further ado, I'm pleased to pass it on to our moderator, Neil Mayers.
You can't applaud the candidates, you can't applaud me, just to let you know. That is okay. Glasses on. Welcome everyone to the Culpeper Chamber of Commerce's biannual candidate forum. My name is Neil Mayers, as Amy indicated, and I have the pleasure of being your moderator now for the second consecutive time. I was asked back for 3 reasons. One is that I'm going to tell you I am the least political person in Virginia. I am totally devoid of bias. I'm a card-carrying member of the Pragmatic Party, and that is, our motto is we just want to get stuff done. We don't always use the word stuff either. 2, as a teacher, I am accustomed to speaking in front of people in a loud, clear voice. Whoa, see that? Paying attention on the front there, aren't you? And 3, after making Amy's heart stop last year by suggesting an off-script question, she felt confident I wouldn't go off the rails too bad this year, so they invited me back. Now, all jokes aside, I asked to come back because I think this event and events like this are critically important to our community and to our society. Speaking for myself, 2 years ago I learned a lot, not just about the responsibilities of each office, but also about the people of Holden. That understanding made me not only a more informed voter, it also gave me a deeper appreciation for how much hard work and dedication goes into jobs like our treasurer, Missy White, or our clerk of the court, Carson Beard. I had no idea what they did until then, and I promise you I am more engaged with them in the community now since learning about that. Because of that, I find myself more engaged with the process and more motivated to participate. That's the goal tonight, for each of us to leave here not only more knowledgeable, but also more connected and committed to strengthening our community. Now, as a faculty member, I also want to welcome you to the Daniels Technology Center at Germanna Community College. Here, from President Wilson on down to those of us in the classroom, we share the same commitment to create a community built on open, respectful communications. That means that every voice matters, and we promise not only to speak, but to truly listen to one another. So to confirm what Amy said, this is an open forum. This is not a debate. And I have been given the questions to ask. They're right here. And I feel like, does anybody remember Kreskin? Or not Kreskin, anybody remember Karnak and The Tonight Show? I feel like Karnak from The Tonight Show, right? I got the questions. They've been sealed in a jar on Funkin' Wagnall's porch for the last 3 days. But I've been given the questions to ask, and the candidates have been given instructions on time already. So my role is simply to keep things moving and on schedule. I will also say, in addition to the lights that the candidates see, for those candidates here, at 15 seconds, I will raise my hand like this, and when the time's over, we will move on to the next question. Okay? So great. With that said, let's get started, and let's all remember democracy works best when we show up, listen, and learn together. So if I could ask the candidates for the House of Delegates to come on up, and we'll get started. Okay. Let me just get my notes in front of me. So just to reiterate how this is going to work, we're going to start, we'll go through all 4 candidates here at this time. I'm going to ask you, everybody's first of all going to get a 2-minute introduction. Secondly, I have got a list of questions here that I'm going to ask everybody. So you will have 2 minutes to respond to each of 2 questions. And then you will finish up with, you will have a 2-minute opportunity to address the group with whatever you'd like to say. Right. Oh, talking to the microphone. Oh, thank you. Can you hear me any better?
Yes.
All right. Thumbs up there. Guys can hear me?
Gotcha.
All right. I don't care about them. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Great. All right, so if we could go ahead and get started. Mr. Bennington, would you like to start us off, please?
Absolutely. My name is Jack Bennington. I moved from Herndon, Virginia to Warrenton in 1990 because my parents wanted to live in a more rural setting. And I graduated from Fauquier High School in 1997, played against Culpeper High School in football and wrestling. And then in 1997, I went to Ferrum College. I went to Ferrum College, graduated in 2001, thought I wanted to be a minister, so I worked as a youth director at a church in Alexandria. Realized that ministry wasn't me after about 2 years, so then I joined the United States Army. And then I served in South Korea and then in Colorado. Got out of the Army, decided that I wanted to become a teacher, and then I ended up, on my last little bit of working on my courses, I got recalled, and I went to Afghanistan with the Illinois National Guard. While I was in while I was in Afghanistan, I applied for the job as a teacher at Kettle Run High School because home was calling. And I ended up getting the job. I think they felt bad for me because I thought I did a poor job on the interview on the satellite phone. But I ended up getting the job, and then my wife and I moved to Colorado in 2009. I worked at Kettle Run as a teacher since then, and I joined the Virginia National Guard in 2010. Currently, I fly Lakota helicopters, and I have gone to the southwest border to assist Border Patrol in their counter-drug and human trafficking programs. In addition to that, I have 2 boys. One is 9, goes to Emerald Hill Elementary School, and the other is 11 and goes to Culpeper Middle School. The reason I'm running is because I see change. I see change across the district. It's not what it once was, and I believe that our representation needs to reflect that. And I hope that you will vote for me and support me this November. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Wiebert.
Can I take this thing off?
Sure.
All right. Good evening. My name is Michael Webert, and I am the current delegate for the 61st District. I represent Culpeper, Fauquier, and all of Rappahannock counties. I farm for a living. I don't fly Lakota helicopters. We run a cow-calf operation, and then we feed out steers. And then my wife and I also have a farm store that we sell local products. We sell our beef, lamb, pork, as well as local products from all over the Commonwealth, spices from Shenandoah, and that kind of thing. I've got two beautiful boys, 13 and 10. They're absolutely rambunctious and crazy, and my wife is taking care of them this evening, so I can be here because both of them are at their football practice. When I first ran, I was asked to run by a number of constituents simply because this area is unique and special, and it's unique and special to me. And over the years, it has significantly grown. And it's one of those things where once you step into service and you love what you do and you see what you've done and you've been able to provide, you want to keep doing it. We've passed legislation. I mean, we're, Fauquier, Culpeper, in the heart of horse country, and passed legislation to open Colonial Downs, and we have funds coming to Great Meadow and the whole area. I'm tied to agriculture. This area is still rural, and we'd like to keep it that way. We work on legislation that really defines and helps define the character of the area that we live in. And we continue to do that. And with the changes that have come in the House and other things, there are challenges that we face in order to continue to be the special area that we are, and that's why I'm running again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Weber. And I already learned something, how to pronounce your name correctly. Sorry about that. Okay. And these two gentlemen, first of all, were from the 61st District. Sure. The next two candidates are for the 62nd District. Next, Ms. Hamilton.
Okay. I don't believe my mic is on. Is it on? Okay.
Yep, it's on.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this forum, and thank you to my opponent as well for participating. I'm Karen Hamilton, and my husband and I live in Orange County with our 3 wonderful children and a whole lot of animals. I grew up in a strong Christian family. My parents were missionaries and eventually became a school teacher and a structural engineer. I followed in my father's footsteps and received a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. I'm married to a wonderful man, and we were a military family. My husband served 10 years as a Navy SEAL, and during that time, our family was tested with 4 overseas deployments. We understand the high cost of freedom and the regular sacrifice required to keep it. After finishing his time in the military in 2015, we moved to this area. We instantly knew when we moved here that this is where we wanted to set down roots and raise our children. There's something special about the area we get to call home. Which brings me to why I'm running for office. I decided to run for office because I saw what was on the horizon for Virginia if Democrats retake control. The loss of religious liberties, the infringement of our Second Amendment rights, higher energy costs, higher taxes, no fresh solutions for education, soft on-crime policies that endanger us all and embolden criminals, and an outright attack on the unborn, which are our future. Virginia is at a pivotal point. I'm running for office to serve this community that I love and also to preserve what is so beautiful about District 62 here in Virginia, our incredible history, our rural spaces, our God-given liberties, our small town values, and our future, which are our children. I'm running to preserve these things and ensure that my children and your children will inherit the blessings of liberty and have a secure and prosperous Virginia for generations to come.
Thank you. Last but not least, Ms. Radcliffe.
Thank you, and I'll echo Ms. Hamilton by saying thank you to the Chamber for hosting us. It's good to have the opportunity to tell voters what we think directly. So I spent 25 years working in politics and policy, and after which my husband and I found our forever home in Greene County in this beautiful Piedmont area. I know that now is a time people are struggling and people are scared, and I know what that's like because I grew up with a single mom who struggled mightily to make ends meet. We were supported by living in public housing and by the opportunity to get food stamps to help her put food on the table. Because of these opportunities, because of this help, I was able to go to school and thrive and eventually go to college. The idea that I then had a career in politics, in policy, and eventually helped to run a national nonprofit organization that helped to fight for the rights of women's health and rights and the ability for all of us to make our own decisions. This journey from Section 8 to CEO could only happen here in the United States of America. Mine is the story of that which, if you provide opportunity, people can thrive. I also believe that because of my experience, we need to come back to a place where we treat each other as neighbors first. I learned working with state legislators across the country that our laws that are at the state level is where the government touches most people's lives on a daily basis. I also learned that most state legislators that I met are public servants who only want to serve their communities. I have 3 decades experience working on policy. I know how to do this job. I believe in our community, and I will show up and ask for you to consider voting for me for delegate in the 62nd District.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Now we're going to get into the questions. And what I'm going to do is, with each question, Ms. Hamilton, we'll start with you. So everybody's going to have a chance to go in first and last, or finish up. But I'm going to read the question to each candidate, and then you will have 2 minutes to answer it, okay? So I will go back and reread the question each time. So Ms. Hamilton, we'll start with you. Question 1, how will you stay connected with constituents and ensure their voices are heard in legislative decisions?
Well, constituent engagement and services are very important because it's how I'm going to show you that I'm here to work for you and that your concerns matter. I'll help constituents cut through red tape. I'll serve as a liaison to facilitate contact with state agencies. I'll also help local governments and schools and nonprofits apply for state and federal grants. I'll keep regular working hours whenever I'm not in session so that you can address any concerns you have with me directly. And when in session, I'll send out weekly emails to summarize legislation and explain any difficult votes that may be in question. I'll update daily on social media, and my office will respond promptly to emails and calls and ensure things are handled in a timely manner. I hope that you understand that the communication line between me and you will remain open, and you will be my top priority in Richmond.
Great. Thank you. I'll read the question again. Ms. Radcliffe, how will you stay connected with constituents and ensure their voices are heard in legislative decisions?
The most important thing we can do as elected leaders is to show up. Show up for our community, make sure people are aware of who we are, make sure people have access to us, whether it's through a phone or an office, or to be able to come to Richmond and tell us what they want for us to represent them. This community is one that I have been in for a number of years, and I live here, I sing here, I worship here, I work here. I'm in and around Culpeper, Orange, Madison, and Greene all the time. The idea that people know who we are and can walk up to us at the grocery store and say, this is happening and we need help, or this is happening and I'm glad you voted that way, or this is happening and I want you to explain why you voted that way, is absolutely the goal that we need to have as those asking to be the elected representatives. I will absolutely have access to office hours once elected, and I will welcome people to come to Richmond and help shape what our decisions are making and what votes we take on legislation during session. Throughout the year, even when we're not in session, I think it's important for us to be in the community, to be visible and part of the community. That's okay. To be there and to show up. As I said, decisions are made by those who show up. I intend to show up for my community so that they can make sure that I am representing their voice, their concerns, their needs in Richmond.
Great. Thank you very much. Mr. Bennington, same question. How will you stay connected with constituents and ensure their voices are heard in legislative decisions?
One of the things that I've learned about doing this is the importance of listening to what people are concerned about. Going to talk to individuals who are community leaders, finding out what it is that the big issue for them, whether it be law enforcement, education, whatever it is. Listen to them and understand that it is extremely important to them. And that even though I don't know much about it, I need to learn everything I can about it. I believe that an effective legislator is someone who understands that people are going to come to them with their problems, with their issues, and the legislator needs to do everything he or she can do to provide guidance or to provide some kind of resolution. I would be as available as much as I possibly can so that then people would know who I am and they would be able to say, hey, I have a problem. Hey, I have something that I need your assistance with, and then I would be able to assist or provide any kind of help that I could. I think that what we need to make sure, though, is that in the process of interacting with the constituents is that we realize that their issues are the forefront, and we need to take that into consideration with every decision that we make.
Great, thank you. And last but not least, Mr. Weber.
Thank you very much. Basically, every candidate up here has said kind of what it takes to stay in touch with your constituents. I like to tell constituents where I'm at on any particular issue. I go to classes and speak to their students. I go to Rurotans if they invite me and give them legislative updates. I go to Jefferson twice a year. Chamber events like this. But what we really do is try to tell the constituent where we're at on certain issues and what bills I'm carrying, et cetera. So my office sends an incredible amount of mail. In the 24 session, we sent 75,000 pieces of mail to our constituents, and it was just simply a letter saying, here's the bills that we carried, and here's why I'm carrying them. And can I tell you how many people write back? Quite a few. And in 25, we sent 85,000 pieces. We responded to over 42,000 emails with legislative updates and over 100,000 emails with legislative and policy updates during that time, and then responded to our constituents. And I'd like to say that my office does a very good job of that. If you contact our office with an email, you'll get an email back. If it's something that requires some thought, it may take a little bit longer. If you come see us, we kick anybody and anybody out of our office that's not a constituent. They get kicked out, and the constituent gets their audience. And that's how we've been dealing with it. We believe that listening is always something that is incredibly important. But I also feel that you need to know where I stand on those issues and the bills that I'm carrying, which is why we send those bills. And the Star Exponent prints our letters to let you know exactly where we stand. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Next question, and Ms. Hamilton, we started with you last time, correct? I want to make sure we've got that. All right, I want to make sure we do this fairly. Second question, Ms. Ratcliffe, we're going to start with you. How would you support local businesses and attract new economic opportunities to the district?
So local businesses and farmers are the driving force of our community. We need to make sure that folks who want to start a business can do so with supports from state agencies to make sure that they have loans or that they have the ability to take their products to market, as well as to ensure that folks who are currently have a business have all of the opportunities to thrive in that, whether it's expansion or to make sure that they have good workers and employees that are here in the district to be able to hire the people they need to make their business successful. The most important thing that I think we can do as legislators would be to ensure that the costs of doing business don't outweigh the success of a business. So we can make sure that whether it's energy costs, whether it's business product costs, whether it's rents and housing for their workers, that we make sure that we can balance economic development with also making sure that consumers have the products they need at prices they can afford.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Bennington, the question, how would you support local businesses and attract new economic opportunities to the district?
The summer of 21, I was at the border, and I was looking forward to coming home. And my wife and I were talking on the phone, and she said, I want to do something when you get back, and actually I'm getting ready to do it before you actually get back. And I said, okay, what's that? She said, I want to start a home organizing business. I said, are you serious? And she said, yes, I am. And I got to see firsthand the trials and tribulations associated with that, where someone has a desire to do something and all the obstacles that are in the way, and some of them don't make sense. And I think what we need to do is streamline that process. We also need to divert funding to organizations. She goes to the Culpeper Business Women's meetings about once or twice a month, and she is always making a presence there because she wants to encourage other people to do the same. I think that in regards to small business, we have to make this as easy of a process as possible so that then they can grow their business and then possibly hire more individuals and then put more people at work. In regards to large businesses, I think Culpeper has done, from what I have seen, a pretty good job. They've kept the rural aspect in Culpeper County, but they've also allowed some big business to come in. It's stimulated the local economy, and it has enabled them to fund certain things like schools a little bit more effectively than maybe some other counties that are more hesitant to doing that. I understand that everybody's different in different counties, Rappahannock, Culpeper, and Fauquier, but from what I've seen here in Culpeper County, they've done a pretty good job with that. And so I think what we need to do is encourage and welcome businesses that are coming in that are larger, but also make sure that we still keep the small town feel.
Great, thank you. I have to ask a follow-up question. Had your wife organized your house when you did that?
She looks at my side of the house and is...
That was my next question,
away.
was going to be how much of the stuff organized was yours that got... you know what, that's none of my business.
It's an ongoing relationship.
Fair enough. Mr. Weber, the question. How would you support local businesses and attract new economic opportunities to the district?
Well, first of all, my wife does the same thing. She looks at my side and goes, nah.
I can appreciate that. Yes.
Yeah, right? Well, so there's a couple of things. I mean, everybody's kind of addressed the regulatory climate when it comes to small business. And I mean, when Jacob talked about his wife and starting a new business, as a business owner, it's the same thing. It's trying to work through those regulations and the regulatory requirements that come with your business and trying to streamline those. And Nick Freitas and I, when he came in, that was one of our things that we continuously worked on, and we worked with the Northam administration and passed House Bill 883 to streamline regulatory requirements in the Commonwealth. It was a pilot program. It was targeted towards small businesses. Because it dealt with the Department of Occupational Licensing. You know, your folks that cut hair, tattoo artists, all those are regulated by that entity. And so we worked to try and streamline those regulatory requirements, and the goal was 25%. And even with COVID, they hit 30. And Governor Youngkin took that with his victory and continued to run with it, and he's reduced regulatory requirements by 26.8%. And when it comes to the guidance documents and things that you got to fill out and those things, we're almost at 50% reduction. So you're cutting down the amount of paperwork. I don't know about you, but as a business owner, time is money. And that is one of the biggest issues that we have is business owners spend so much time working through that regulation that they don't have time to do business. So we need to continue to do that so that they have the time to be able to do business and be entrepreneurs. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Lastly, Ms. Hamilton.
Yes, well, Delegate Weber shared so much about what I would do as well as far as cutting back regulations, but I also want to talk about keeping energy costs low, because expensive energy hurts every single business, it hurts every single household. And we're going to have to either repeal or amend the Virginia Clean Economy Act in order to do that. Because right now, we have higher energy costs than ever, and part of that is because we were forced to switch over to carbon-free emissions by year 2045 with this new mandate that Democrats put through in 2020. This has made energy more expensive for all businesses, and because of that, it's made everything more expensive for consumers. So we need to work on lowering energy costs. In addition to that, we need to keep taxes low, and we need to cut regulations wherever we can. We want regulations to make sense and not prohibit the business from being profitable. Additionally, I'd like to see the state stay out of wage agreements between an employer and an employee. We want small businesses, let's say an ice cream shop wants to hire a 16-year-old kid for $12 an hour. I don't want that to be illegal. I would like wage agreements to be able to be negotiated between employee and employer, and I think we should trust Virginians in order to do that.
Thank you. What we'll do is to finish up, you will all have 2 minutes to make a final statement to the audience. And we're going to switch it up. We're going to start at the other end. Ms. Radcliffe, 2 minutes.
Thank you. Again, I want to thank everyone for being here and for the Chamber for hosting us. I think all of us on this stage, we pledged allegiance to the flag today. We're all believers. We're believers in our Constitution. We're believers in the free speech, the freedom to worship, the ability to vote for our elected leaders, to make our own decisions, and to have government support us in doing that. Our Constitution is that which is the foundation of our community and the things that we believe. It's also the document that says we the people. It is the idea that we are one people, one nation. I believe that we are at our best when things are at our worst, whether that's across the driveway or over the picket fence or across the back field. We need to make sure that we see each other again as neighbors first. That's what my campaign has been about, a way to find that sense of community again. We can disagree without disintegrating each other. We can debate without changing exactly who we are. We can come back to a place where we can find common ground and get things done. We want to build community. That's what my campaign has all been about, building community and meeting each other where we are. We want to work together to make a better future for all of our children, for all of our businesses, our farmers, and indeed for our community members. I would be proud and humble to represent this community that has become my home. I hope you will consider voting for me. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Ms. Hamilton.
Well, I want to thank each and every one of you for your time this evening, and I humbly ask for your vote on or before November 4th. We recently had a sitting U.S. Senator of Virginia say that our rights come from the government and not from God. Not only is that a blatant departure from our founding principles, but it's a dangerous and chaotic way to govern, and it leads to tyranny. Because anything that the government can give you, it can take away, and it can do so by using force. A vote for me will protect your individual liberties, your children, our green rural spaces that we all love so much, your livelihoods, our safety and security, and our future prosperity. We're coming up on the 250th anniversary of our beautiful nation, and our Declaration of Independence is what we must hold on to. And it states, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed." And when you go vote, you are giving your consent to be governed. It's an incredible responsibility. I do not take it lightly. I humbly ask for your vote. You'll have my devotion to ensuring that your liberties are secured and that prosperity is given to the next generation of Virginians. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Webert.
Thank you. Closing is always the hardest part because I'm going to ask you for your vote. I'm going to ask you to go vote tomorrow, actually, because early voting is going on right now, and you can go vote. I've outlined why I'm running, what I've worked on, and the policies that we're going to continue to work on. Karen alluded to our energy crisis. By the way, that's got to be reset.
Yep.
Okay. Alluded to our energy crisis. I currently sit on a commission that is trying to work through that because the way the Virginia Clean Economy Act sits right now, we can't keep the lights on with pure dispatchable power. We need more. Nobody told us 5 years ago that our energy needs would skyrocket the way they have, and now we have to solve that problem. And that is a problem that the legislature created in 2020. There's other problems that get created, and then we have to come back and we have to fix them and we have to work on them. But that particular problem is near and dear to my heart. Also protecting our beautiful landscapes, our rural way of life, and the culture that we hold dear. How many of you moved out here because you just fell in love with it, right? We want to keep that. I want to keep that. My family's been here for generations, and when I took over the family farm and became my grandmother's longest-running employee, we fell in love with it. We fell in love with the Blue Ridge, right? And so that's why we're working. That's why we continue to work, so that we have it not only now, but for future generations. And so I humbly ask you for your vote. And I ask you to go out tomorrow and cast that vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Bennington.
This is amazing. You all get to come here, questions are asked, candidates answer, and you get to make a decision. I'm reminded of a Russian exchange student I had back in 2012. And in the fall, in my class, she said, "This is amazing." In the lead up to the election, the presidential election. She said, "You don't know who's going to win." She said, "If Putin runs, he's going to win." And I've kept that story with me for the rest of my life because of the fact that it really hit me that, wow, not everybody gets to experience what we get to experience. Delegate Weber is not my enemy. Delegate Weber is my opponent. And I think that that's the case with all of us up here in light of everything that's been going on this past summer. You have a chance to look back and think, are you happy with the way things have been going? And if you're not, then you have that opportunity to make a change. You have the opportunity to make a change and select someone that you think will best represent you in Richmond. And if he does win, I will continue to ask him to come talk to my students. I'll probably ask you maybe November 5th. if he wins. But I want you to hear that because that is what I think is our democracy is all about. We settle our differences at the ballot box. The issues, the problems, the complexities that we have at the state, they are significant. But I believe that together we can come to solutions that will push us forward and in the right direction. I greatly appreciate your time. Thank you for your interest, and I would greatly appreciate your vote this November or tomorrow.
Sooner. Thank you. All right, great. Thank you all very much for your time. Give a round of applause for our candidates here. Thank you very much.